Hello, Jen. Good morning. I just gone over the sorry, the MS project file that Ivan sent you. So really, it's just to be honest, right off the bat, that I'm not really the certified expert that Paul would like to say. But anyway, just sharing some of my the tips and tricks that I may know. Paul can further discuss you on some shortcut keys. So anyway, regarding this uh, overall project, the basic thing the basic triple is what they call the triangle in a project is there is the date, the resources, and basically you know your scope, your date, and the resources doing the project and your tasks. So from the looks of it, Ivan, uh, we can first determine the start and the finish of this project. So Ivan's work plan, you can add a finish column. So I just added a finish column. So it's good that he presented a timeline view. So this is the timeline view. So it shows you a graphical representation of it's user friendly to the especially if you're going to be presenting this to Neil. So anyway, as I was going over earlier, um, I think the presenta this chart that Ivan made is okay, but could be presented more in a user-friendly manner. So first is you can rearrange these columns so you can uh, drag the column whichever you want to the left or to the right. So to do that, you just have to highlight one cell. Then once you see this view, so you'll be ready to drag it. So from my point of view, I'd like to see the resource names, for example, down further to the right. So when you see that gray line, the vertical line, so you just drop it over there. So that's just my personal preference. I like to have it on the right so that I can see the work, the duration in terms of days. The work is set in terms of hours. And basically in MS Project, so this is your an MS Project, this is the project summary task. So if I remove that, it will disappear. If you tick that again, you have the project summary task. You can find it here in format. Then go to project summary tasks. Then the ones in bold are the summary tasks. And these ones, the ones that are not bold, are the detailed tasks. So it's just basically a step-by-step task. Step, so under pre-setup you have this task. So the thing I understand is probably you want a better presentation that you could present to Neil. So, and wait, for predecessors, I think you already know that um, I think Ivan just set this to. There are actually types of predecessors, and if you can look that up, it's basic. Ivan is just basically following from top to bottom, so that's what we call finish to start. That's the finish to start concept in MS Project. So basically, for example, outline all tasks cannot begin until the pre-configure the SAN is completed. So this basically looks like a waterfall approach. But except here, when you see there's a 43, that's FS finish to start plus 4 days. So I understand that Ivan um, added a 4 days. So basically, you see this is the lag. So basically, just a buffer. So after 43, so 43 is reconfigure backups. So so Ivan like needs additional. I mean Shahid, by the way. Sorry. So Shahid will be doing this task. So like he needs additional 4 days to prior to completion of the reconfigure backups, he needs this to be finished plus 4 days. So again, that's what it means. Then I've already spoken to Ivan previously, and the orange bars are the days the days off for this project. So he just put his own color. So anyway, just some of the tricks that might be helpful to you in your presentation to Neil is this is the timeline view. So I'm sure that Neil is a very technical person. So the thing that he would be I would assume he would be wanting a progress. It depends on the agreed frequency that you set with him. Is it weekly, monthly? So going back to the project is you need to identify the timeline. So so to set the timeline view is you have to go to the view, then click on this bar. So you can add another timeline view. So basically with timeline view, this is the timeline view. So you can so upon clicking format, then you click on timeline bar, so this one appears. So I found out that Ivan selected some tasks that would be that would be presented to Neil. So you need to find out in so I think we need to talk with Ivan again and how he figured out these tasks to be presented. But to me, there are some items that I would like to specify with Ivan that, for example, the in MS Project, the default symbol for a milestone is like an activity that's a milestone is basically an activity that doesn't have any work component, but like it signifies like a breakthrough in the project. So you could split it up. So Ivan in this project has identified his milestones to be he has receive all hardware. Then he has weekend physical deployment, install hardware on site. What else? Then another milestone is project complete. But if I may suggest, Ivan can also mark this in row 45, communicate project completion to customer as also a milestone. So to do that, Jen, you can click on row 45, then you can click on, uh, actually you can set this as a milestone. So actually you can go to you click on it, then you go to task information, you go to the advanced tab, and you see a tick button mark task as a milestone. You can click on that. So if you notice, it changes to a diamond, so it becomes a milestone. But for now, I'll just undo it so that it remains as is. But I would suggest that would be a milestone because it's already a presentation to the client. So I think we need further presentation. I mean further discussion with Ivan because I would also need to understand what the customer facing column means, but there's a yes for setting date. But anyway, we need further. I won't assume, so I need information from Ivan on what he means in that. And basically, from what I understand, if we want to avoid the nitty gritty in MS Project, we can just basically present Neil what's the progress like every week. So for example, in MS Project, for example, let's move fast forward. So we have like for October 20, you could just highlight the tasks. Let's say row 2 and row 3 because this is supposed to be done today and tomorrow. They're gonna be done for Evgeny. So if you want that to be up, so if ever they have already updated it, I mean the resource assigned to that Evgeny and Ivan already confirms that it is already done. So we can actually update that in you can do that in you just highlight the cell, then you could click on task, then information, then the percentage complete. So basically, just to simplify things, you could just put 100%. So percent complete. So So when you mark that as percent complete, you will see that there's a check mark on the left side, so meaning it's complete. Um, you can also actually put colors here just to simplify your understanding here. You can put colors on this one. So for example, you want to put some colors on this. Wait, uh, it's not showing up. It's not really showing up. So anyway, I think to improve this presentation of Ivan, I could add this project summary, like the name of the project. So because when you see the overall view of the project, you don't know what's the name of the project. So you need to, in my end, you need to put sans CPC process so that you know what's important. Because from the looks of it, I think I even just identified the critical tasks and milestones. But again, he needs to add all the milestones for this. Then you can also tick the project complete. That's it. So I already created one, so you could just you could just click this and yeah, for a while. Okay, display. Actually, there's actually in the timeline view, there's options for displaying it as a bar and displaying it as a call out. So when you display it as a call out, it will like group everything. Then it's like highlights everything. So that's it. So this one. So if you put it there, you already have the name of your project. So I just highlighted that in red. Then project complete. You can just drag it to the, the the original timeline view. Then for this one, I could just remove this one. Remove. Where's the remove? And I right click and remove the timeline bar. So I'm just gonna put some colors. So I'm putting colors in violet for those milestone tasks. So so basically from my end, I think Ivan needs to put in the name of the project. Actually, he already put in, but I think we could have a further meeting with him so we could discuss everything and just make the presentation more presentable. So there you go. In the presentation, the timeline. What else? Actually, I haven't really mastered this tool, but some other tips that you could use in MS Project is you could go to report, then there's dashboard, so you could click on this burn down, project overview, upcoming tasks. So for burn down, it just shows the actual work, but I don't think Neil would be like. I mean, for me personally, I think what he would be more interested would be what I found out is like the project overview. So basically, this just something I found out today. So I think this would be very also important because you could just screenshot the overview. Let's say for week one, you've got, for example, 25% complete. So again, this would vary once you complete something. So let me just show you an example. So right now we are 25%. Just take note there are two rows earlier that I made complete. So so let's try to complete other tasks, Jen. So let's try to complete this. Let's go to task information. Then again, you mark them as 100%. So when you are complete, it shows a check mark again on the left side. So let's try again Let's try again. Report, dashboards, project overview. So as you've seen, 39% is already completed. Then everything under preset up, the summary task preset up is already complete. So it's still 0% for weekend physical. So let's go back again, just to show you like a progress on what will happen. Let's go back to the, so again, your basic default view is you can choose a Gantt chart or a tracking Gantt. Then you can also use the timeline. So that's the normal default views that like normally useful in MS Project. What else? Um, so let's go further. So for weekend physical deployment, we'll try to again go to task. So let's assuming fast forward that, let's say the assigned resources are Ivan, Evgeny. So they've already done it. So mark it as 100% complete. So in your reporting to the client, so you could use the project overview. So notice that the project moves up to 45% total project. Then the two summary tasks, preset up and weekend physical, is already 100%. Then the next task, so eventually it will go to 100% completion. So I think you see where it's coming. So I think that's one presentation we could present to Neil if that would be sufficient. But again, we are using ConnectWise, so we are just in my part we're just assigning tickets to the resources because there is no way in MS Project we could put their time, their work and time entries and their documentation. But in MS Project, you can just, if you want a visual representation to be presented to Neil, then I think the use of the timeline view and the report, project overview, so report, dashboard, so project overview, I think that could be, that could make sense. Upcoming tasks, I haven't tried this one. Report, work overview. Work overview could also help because you see the percent work complete, remaining work, then the actual work. But again, this would be because we don't have a Microsoft project online, and it's another tough one to study because right now we're using ConnectWise. So the way I see with MS Project is we could use this tool for presentation purposes to our client. Oh, so on your work overview, by the way, you could also see this bar graph. So MS Project automatically calculates it based on the estimates that Ivan did. But I think, but again, we need further meeting with Ivan to discuss on how he identified, because I think I have some questions on the timeline view on what tasks, I mean, why Ivan chose these tasks. But if it were up to me, you need to show this, the name of the project, the milestones. So the milestones again are the diamond symbols. Then that's it. I think the project overview feature would also help you. What else? There you go. Um, actually, also Jen, if you want, if you're already settled with this timeline view, which right now it's not organized as of now, but once we organize it, you have an option. You have an option in MS Project 2016 to send it for email. You can use it to full size or for, so for email it sends to your email, basically to your Outlook or whatever. For presentation it refers to the PowerPoint. What else? I think this would do for now. And what else? The views. So again, you could just use the normal views, the Gantt or tracking Gantt. What else? I have not mastered this other. So anyway, going back to your view, tracking Gantt. So view, track, tracking Gantt. Time more views. So actually, you could choose your more views here. So your normal views again are Gantt, tracking Gantt. So the tracking Gantt shows. I think this is the part of the tracking Gantt. There you go. You could also choose the Gantt with a timeline. So again, those are just some point of view that I could share if we're going to use this for presentation to the client. So from our end, from Guidey, I think we have to number one meet with the team, then assign tickets. Then from this plan, I need to have some clarification with Ivan again on what he means with customer facing. How was he able to plot estimates? But from the looks of it, the project would start October 20, which is today, and finish November 15. And it's already plotted out 65 hours for this one. Yeah, so there you go. I think those are just some of the things that I could just I was able to walk. I hope I was able to walk you through. Oh, sorry, Jen. There's also another view that you can simplify. You could select outline. You go to view, then outline, then you could select level one. So if you notice, everything collapses. So like all the top level tasks are seen here. So you could just click it and it will expand or it will shrink or collapse. So if you choose, you can hide all subtasks, but you can also click on show all subtasks. You could show normally the farther the level, you would be able to see the subtasks. So let's try level 4 or level 5. So when you click on that, let's say level 5, everything gets expanded. And similarly, when you click on level 1, you see the top level tasks. So again, not sure what kind of presentation Neil would want to see, but maybe we need a further meeting with Ivan so we get a bird's eye view on what to, or you could get a better idea on what to present to your client. Okay, that's it for me today. Thank you.